All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. The name of the video is Something's Got to Change. Town targets parents of out of control teens. That should be something that should be spread all around the entirety of the United States of America, guys, because these kids are bad. And I do think that you absolutely, as a parent, specifically their guardian, if they're out here doing craziness, guess where you should probably be, bro? In jail along with them. Right? It is your failure that has put these kids in that position, guys. I'm telling you, it is your failure. Kids are legitimately templates. You make them exactly what you want to make them. Do not allow them to be certain things that you don't want them to be. Okay, that's it. You are responsible for your ward, let's say. Let's go ahead and jump into it, guys.
So a new law in a New Jersey town could put parents in jail for their kids' bad behavior. It's all a result of teen brawls like this one where 3 officers were injured and 9 teenagers were arrested last year. So according to this law, if a child is repeatedly found guilty of loitering, repeated school absences, or felonies, their parents could face up to 90 days in prison and a $2,000 fine.
That's perfect.
Gloucester Police Chief David Harr.
That's perfect, guys.
Chief, thanks so much for joining the program this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
So, Chief, things must be really bad if you've had to, in combination with the city council, set the metrics like this to now starting holding the parents accountable for their children's bad behavior, right?
Yeah, who would have thought? I mean, when I was a kid, if my parents knew where I was and if I ever had to run into that kind of situation, I'd have been in big trouble. But,
by your parents.
More and more, our officers are running into disrespectful, out of control behavior by juveniles, as we experienced last year at our Gloucester Township Day event. It was an event like nothing that we've ever seen before. And this ordinance is just another way of us trying to change the course and make parents responsible, or at least know where their children are and what they're up to.
Yeah, guys, I couldn't imagine like not knowing exactly where my kids are at all times of the day. I can't imagine that. And also, I cannot imagine my kids doing any of these things. This is what happens when you're like excessively present in your kid's life and you are telling them blatantly, this is not acceptable in my household, or under any circumstance you're not going to do any of these things. Raise your kids in a correct manner. And I know factually here, based off of what I'm seeing here, if you were to go to any of these people's houses, the parents are, let's say the mother, because I highly doubt these are coming from 2-parent households at least, but let's say the mother is going to respond in a way similar to the kids, guys. This looks like the ghetto, guys. All right, either way.
So, Chief, I know you know this. No case is the same. And one thing I experienced when I worked in juvenile court is sometimes the parents don't have control and they've exhausted all their options. Can you help a parent if they come to the court or to your station, they say, look, I want accountability, but I have a team. I'm a single parent and my child just doesn't listen to me. Can you help out?
Interesting.
Yeah, we sure can. We're firm believers in making corrections and restorative justice with these juveniles. And like we have a full-time social worker that works with our juvenile unit detectives. So we work very closely with our school to provide, corrections and programs for them to get help, because parenting is difficult. But there is help out there. Again, this ordinance is not to put people in jail. You have to go through a due process. You have to go through a lengthy of repetitive events before it would even get charged. We're looking to make parents aware and to keep them, make them aware of what their kids are doing and give them the opportunity to know that they're responsible and that they could be held responsible, with the hope that the parent would adjust and know and correct the behavior of the juvenile.
Yeah, guys, a lot of this is just going to come down to what can the parents actually do to stop these absolute bad kids here, guys. You're going to have to kind of ease up on like the corporal punishment, let's just say, in certain, like the laws kind of surrounding it, that surrounds it. Apologies, guys. You're going to have to probably ease up on some of that, specifically in this region. If you're going to make it so that the parents are responsible, understand that a lot of them are going to start putting hands on their kids. They're going to, period. Because the only thing that's going to stop them is this. At the end of the day, here, guys, right? And that's what I suspect is probably going to have to come along with it. Because if you see the kids that are doing all these things here, talking is going to do nothing to them. Nothing. They don't care, bro. They don't care, and they don't care because they were raised basically not to care in a terrible household. Yes. But all right.
So, Chief, I want to talk about some of the pushback from some of the locals. They've indicated that in this same area within the school district, and I know this is a separate matter because you don't regulate the schools, but if their child wants to be a transgender, then the parents don't even have to be notified. So a lot of parents are saying they can't win. Either you want them involved or you don't want them involved. How would you respond to that?
Well, I would say that's part of, this is actually in the favor of those parents, that we recognize that how important that a family is, that a parent is, and a lot of our societal problems that I've experienced in my 30 years as a police officer is this decline of control. And parents, again, being a parent myself, it's a difficult task, but it's the most important task. And so that's part of what we're trying to do. We recognize how important being a parent is. In no way do we want to come in and take control of a family. I certainly don't want to do that. But I want to get back to where the parents know what their kids are doing. They know where they're going and who they're hanging around with. And if my child were to get in trouble, that I would want to know about that and know that I'm going to be responsible so that we can take corrective action.
Real quickly, Chief, I only got 15 seconds. Are you confident with this policy that you can turn around the crime? This will single-handedly, getting the parents back involved, will change the crime that's happening in your town?
Well, the parents are probably just as bad.
Yes, sir. I am. I'm confident that this warning process will make parents aware. Us having this conversation this morning and with those people in my community, my mayor, my council, this has brought it to the forefront to let us know that something's got to change. We've got to get our kids back on track. They've got to stop acting crazy, lawlessness, and get respect back for law enforcement.
Well, Chief, we're going to be following your town. We're going to be following this story and what's happening with these kids and their parents. Hopefully you'll come back for a progress report. We appreciate it so much.
Okay, guys. Okay. This is a big deal. Okay. I definitely do hope that this has the ability to kind of spread around the country because, guys, the kids are getting crazy. Like the stories that I hear from my daughter with her experience in high school, and just listening to how the great majority of some of these children are, it's absolutely frightening. These are going to be our future, and they have no sense for authority at all. She had said to me the other day that most kids don't even listen to their parents. What kind of weak parents are they experiencing? I'm guessing parents that never had both parents, if that makes any sense. It's, again, guys, I'm absolutely a nuclear family, let's say, advocate here, guys. So I'm sorry if this is offending some people based off some of the comments in the previous video. Apparently, it offends people when you mention that nuclear families are more successful than non-nuclear families, right? But either way, I can't imagine these type of things happening in a household where there's actually some type of authority in the household. Not just like, massive amounts of emotional outbursts and things like that, guys. We definitely, in fact, need to take better control of our children. Specifically, if they're going to go out into public and wreak havoc on other people's businesses and homes and things like this. We're at fault. If your child fails, you're at fault, bro. You did that. The reason why your child is the way your child is because of you. That's it. Like, who's the person that has had the most influence in your kid's life? It's probably you. And if your kid is doing all of these things, I have to kind of look at you a little weirdly, right? You are your kids are going to be a result of what you allowed in your household, truthfully, guys. And again, like, my kids are not outside at dark. Forget all of that, guys. I can definitely tell you that at about 8 o'clock, everything shuts down in my household. We're not doing none of these things. I want homework done adequately. I don't accept a single grade less than an A-. Okay, and I need a written paper on why and how you got an A-. It doesn't exist, guys. Not in my household. Success, driven. None of this nonsense. Absolutely not. Like listen, my wife and I fully vet anyone that comes around my kids under all circumstances. We will never allow this type of behavior to come from any child raised in this household. It will not happen here. So yes, penalize the parents for being bad parents. That's how it works, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.